And I believe that we are now streaming live, but I believe a lot of things. Welcome, I'm Jessica Hentoff, Jessica the Circus Lady from Circus Harmony, and this is the Circus Harmony Up in the Air live stream, graciously hosted by City Museum. You can learn more about Circus Harmony at circusharmony.org and about City Museum at citymuseum.org. While we're waiting for some people to join us, and I'm checking to see if they are, you can invite your friends. Hurry, hurry, hurry. We have an incredibly special guest today. I'll show you, you're going to see two videos today, which of course I always hope that they stream live. And as you know, I am a techno peasant if you've ever been here before, but maybe getting a little better as we get closer to the end of the pandemic, dare I say. No, probably not. So let me start with a video of our special guest, Danielle Saulnier. This is when I first got to see her perform. When she was graduating from the circus college that she attended with Kellen Quinn and several other Circus Harmony alumni. Danielle is not one of our alumni, but she is very closely associated with our alumni. And now, this was her graduation performance. It plays. So that's just a little taste of the incredible Danielle. I also posted on the City Museum Facebook, where you're watching this, in the comments section, is both a link to another video, which was created by the brilliant Bryn. Oh dear. And as usual, I forgot to turn that off, so we need to go back and turn it off. Oh, this is why I need somebody helping me when I do these things. Hold on, that might be off. Good, good. Hopefully it'll stay quiet. Anyway, you should see as much Danielle as you can because she's an amazing artist, circus artist, visual artist, hand balancer, and you wouldn't know from watching that video, she's also really funny, and you'll be able to see some of that in the next video. But first, last week, we had as our special guest one of Circus Harmony's most illustrious alumni, the incomparable, incorrigible Kellen Quinn, who grew up in our program. Kellen Quinn is now partnering with Danielle They have a show called Doop, Doop, and I will show you some video from that later. Uh, they are available to book. In the section about this live stream, you can get a link to Kellen's website where you can find out more about Duke, as well as Danielle's website. Of course, if you want to find out more about Circus Harmony, our spring classes are starting soon and registration ends this weekend. So you've got to go register for both our online and in-person classes at circusharmony.org. Don't forget. City Museum, the hours are changing all the time. You never know, so you should visit their website at citymuseum.org and stop on by. We are getting closer and closer to doing shows there. Meanwhile, who knows who you might see rehearsing in the ring. But right now, because she's taking a break from this beautiful pre-spring day to do this interview, I'm going to welcome Danielle Saulnier. If the technological gods are smiling on us, yay! Coming to you from St. Louis Zoo, I believe, or somewhere out in the wilderness. Can you hear me? She's connecting to audio. Drum roll, please.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yay! Welcome. Thanks for taking a break in this beautiful day.
Yeah, no worries.
Come and do this. So I had mentioned that you went to Circus College at École Nationale de Cirque.
Yes.
And that you are not from Circus Harmony, but you have become closely acquainted with many of the alumni from Circus Harmony and are now partnering with Kellen Quinn in the indescribable duo called Dupe. So what did you think when you first started meeting people from Circus Harmony in college?
I mean, like, I met Kellen Kellen was in my year, so I met him first, and then realizing that him and Keaton were brothers, and then finding out actually how many people have been to the school that have been to ENC that went to Circus Harmony. I was like, oh, okay. Like, it started to become clear to me, like, that, Harmony is a pretty, like, how would I say, like a pretty like established school to kind of like help prepare people to further their circus career.
And the school that you went to, talk a little bit about your school in Toronto.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't really like, it was a recreational gym. So it's not really like a full on like circus school, like how kind of like Circus Harmony is set up. It has like some classes that it offers, but there's no like pre-professional program or anything like that. So there I took, because there's not really much of like a circus community or anything in Toronto, really. Like now there's a bit more. There's a couple more schools that are popping up here and there. But when I started, I only really went to this recreational circus gym like 45 minutes away from my house. And there I took a couple aerial classes to begin with, and like,
that's the gateway drug to circus for many people.
Of course, yeah. I took aerial classes. I didn't like them. I ended up just doing handstands and contortion. But I also took some acro classes.
Are much harder.
Sorry?
Handstands and contortion are actually harder than basic aerial.
I know, but I think my whole issue was I'm not one for getting how would I say, like burns on my skin, or like I wasn't too into it. I tried to make it work for about a year with a aerial hoop and tissue or silks, but it just didn't end up sticking.
And so how did you train to the level, for people who don't know, to get into École Nationale de Cirque, ENC, in Montreal, it is literally harder to get into than Harvard or Yale here in America. So how, in a recreational facility that wasn't even geared primarily to handstands and contortion, did you get to a level to get in, and how did you even know to apply? What made you want to really join the circus?
When I started, I was like very obsessed because I had just discovered circus. Like I hadn't seen my first circus show until I was like 16 years old.
Oh, so I like didn't have to talk to your parents.
Yeah, I don't know. Circus, like we don't have like a big circus, like in the US there's a lot more like traveling circuses and stuff, and there's really not that much in Canada. Like of course we'd have like our commercials of like Cirque du Soleil coming to town and whatnot, but my parents hadn't really taken us there until I was like 16.
Was the first
So
show you saw Cirque du Soleil?
yeah, it was Totem was the first show I saw.
It's a really
But
wild place.
when I started, I just kind of started training every day and then never stopped. So I was just like really like a young teenager, just like obsessively training for hours in like my living room. Sometimes at like 3 a.m. I would be training. It was very, very unusual like training schedules that I had, but I was like very like I was really like working towards a goal, and it was easy because I feel like there's not a lot of like handstand programs or people that are good at handstands. So once I was able to even hold a handstand, it became like really rewarding because it was like such a thing that nobody could do in like my high school or anything. So it was like very addictive. After a year that I started doing circus recreationally and on my own, I got into the summer camp at ENC, and that's how I discovered it. A couple people at the circus gym that I was training at recreationally had mentioned the school in Montreal, so that's when
And
I
even the
decided to.
summer camp, I should add, is very hard to get into.
Yeah, it was pretty yeah, it's pretty competitive, I guess, but it was like it was when I walked into the school and I realized I was like, okay, so you can actually like do this as a career and like go to school for this. Like it's a real thing, you know. It's not just
When
like
I
a.
have heard the school, when you walk into ENC, I've heard it described as the training place for X-Men. That's what it looks like. You just
Yeah.
there are all these windows into these huge gyms and specialty areas, and people flying through the air and defying gravity and throwing things around and throwing each other around. It's amazing. It's an amazing place.
Yeah. It definitely gave that feeling when I walked in. It was really like, okay, so this is like, if I want to do this professionally, like, this is really like a good place for me to go as somebody who doesn't have a lot of performance experience or anything.
And it's
Um,
across the street from Cirque du Soleil.
yeah, that too. That's always a redeeming factor as well. Um, and yeah, so I just trained a lot, like maybe too much. I auditioned I auditioned 2 years after I started training circus, and I didn't get in the first time, which isn't surprising. I wasn't too prepared at that point, but doing the audition really made it clear, okay, what are they asking for and everything. So then the year after that, I just spent the whole year training everything that I needed to do, and like training my conditioning, my acro, flexibility, handstands, et cetera, like every single day. And then luckily I got into the school. So yeah.
And trained, and now you're a phenomenal hand balancer.
Thank you.
On her website, she also does private lessons. She does lessons sometimes when you travel all over the world. So
Yeah.
through the miracles of modern technology, you can teach anywhere. Talk a little bit about how you and Kellen decided to create a show. And when you look at your videos on your website, you are a very serious, dramatic performer, and Helen not so much. He's
Yeah.
very serious, but not dramatic. Well, in any case, it's a whole other side to you when you're working with Duke. But what's really great
Yeah.
is that you have this very high level of hand balancing. He has this high level of juggling, and then you bring it together and add the comedy and the acting, and it's great. But why was Duke created, and what are your hopes for Duke?
Yeah. I mean, I had like definitely like a certain pathway that I was aiming towards when I was in school. And once I finished school and I like got my first like touring contract and everything, you know, it's nice that I love the style that I do and everything, but I never wanted to be kind of like a like
A one trick
one directional type. Yeah, like you know, as a job, as a like being a performer, I am like an interpreter, you know, and I want to be able to give multiple different characters on stage and not just have like one dramatic
That's
act that I can
beautiful.
provide to a show.
You're an interpreter as a physical artist.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, like you can be a creator and everything too, but when I'm hired to be on a show, like of course I'm also an interpreter, and I want to be able to like if somebody has something in mind for a character, I want to be able to do that rather than saying, well, this is what I have to offer, take it or leave it, you know? And I've been wanting to explore more kind of lighthearted comedy like type things, like right after school, actually, after I'd finished with that. And I'd gotten to do a little bit of it in the show that I was doing. Mind you, the act that I did in that show was still like a little bit more dramatic, but throughout the rest of the show, I did get to experiment more with being like having like a character and like having little like comedic moments. And I just kind of wanted to like push that more. And that's when, you know, me and Kellen kind of decided that we wanted to work on do a hula hoop act. One, because I wanted to get into hula hoop more, and I was more of like a beginner, and it was kind of like easy to work with him because he already knows how to manipulate a hula hoop pretty well. And
Sure, he's one of the best
also,
non-hula hoop artist hula hoopers I've ever seen.
yeah, yeah.
People who
Yeah,
have their main discipline are jealous of what Kellen can do.
yeah, absolutely. I get it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's pretty much why we started doing it, and also to be able to like work together. It gets quite lonely on tour when you're by yourself, so I wanted to kind of end up working in a duo. Yeah.
Well, you guys have created a really strong duo. I'm going to let you get back to your beautiful. It's like 60 degrees in St. Louis.
It's
After
crazy.
Yeah, and this is a couple of days ago, sledding in the freezing cold.
Yeah, I know. It's so all over the place.
I'm going to show a little video of Dupe, then I'm going to talk about how if people want to try handstands or aerial or anything, circusharmony.org classes are starting soon.
Yes.
And as Danielle said, if you want to go pro, we're the way to go. But also, it's just fun and recreational, and we are offering classes online. People can train with you online. It's as much as none of us like doing everything online because of the pandemic, it's been amazing to me how much people can learn.
Yeah. And people who are not in the area too can have an opportunity to learn a little bit. Even for handstands, I found that people have been able to actually improve quicker without having someone there to help them all the time. I mean, mind you, only a certain amount of things you can try without a coach there to help you, but it's still in a way is like encouraging people to be more hands-on with their own training and try new things. So that's good.
And handstands is all about personal control.
Exactly.
And strength and flexibility, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you very much for being our guest. And
yeah, no worries. Bye. Thank you for having me. See you.
So absolutely go visit those links that are connected. I'm going to show a little bit. Well, hopefully, I never know what I'm doing here. Going to show you a taste of Dupe, the act. If I can get out of this one, the I don't know how to do it because my screen is too small. There we go. So a little Dupe, which is Danielle and Kellen. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your patience with my techno peasantry. There we go. My name is Kellen, and that's Danielle, and we hope that the show goes well.
That's Danielle.
Oh dear. Oh my. Oh no, stop, stop the madness. Good grief. Stop share. Thank you. Thank you for watching that. We are now at that point where we do the incredibly awkward thing of moving the computer. Oh dear, I've messed up something else. Please excuse me while I try and fix this. I don't know what I'm doing, clearly. Oh, yes, let's click. Okay. I want to talk to you about the upcoming Circus Harmony interactive cookbook. It is amazing. It is the most appetizing, amusing thing we have ever done. And we've done a lot of crazy, crazy things. Excuse me while I'm moving the computer. Here we go, more or less. So the cookbook will be out on March 16th, the anniversary of the lockdown in St. Louis. So you can find it on our Facebook page, but we want to give you a little preview. Most of the acts, most of the incredible recipes are paired with delightful circus acts presented by our students. But we also have some, excuse me, guest chef. What? Maple, come on. The lovely Miss Maple. Maple, come. Come on, come on, come on. Do you want to show them how you make coffee? No? So coffee is actually, there's a very special coffee recipe. Could you show them how you grind the coffee? Did I wake you? Did I wake you, Maple? Ready, Maple. Maple, this is your one best trick. Actually, she has many best tricks. Can you grind? What did she do it for you? Yeah, okay. If you go to the Circus Harmony Facebook website at circusharmony.org, Maple, wake up. If you go to the website, there's actually a page already set up for the cookbook, and we're putting different recipes, not the recipes themselves, but so that you know what's in it, up every day on our social media. Can you bring me that? Maple, I don't know what's wrong with you. I think we're going to wake Maple up by having her do her joke. Wait, Maple, now you're awake. Okay, can you please bring me this coffee filter? Bring me the filter. Good girl. Nope, bring me the filter. Maple. We don't have time for this. Nobody has time for this. Okay, go get the coffee. Go get the coffee. Hurry up. Get the coffee. Get the coffee. It's not in your house. Maple. So if you want to see Maple grind coffee, open the coffee pot, and actually bring me the coffee, please bring me the coffee. You will have to come. Will you bring me the coffee? Huh. Usually, if you've watched this, if you watched our live stream, that's usually her favorite trick is to bring me the coffee. But apparently she's not feeling well. I don't know why. So Maple, you want to do one last leap? And we'll call it a day. Ready, Maple? Maple, hop. Maple, hop. Well, I would have kept Danielle on longer if I knew you didn't want to work. So anyway, hopefully, you'll definitely see it in the cookbook, which you can find at the circusharmony.org page. Also, keep an eye on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for all of the information about the different recipes, the different acts. Every act is paired with a recipe, vice versa, and we have over 40 recipes for all ages, all backgrounds. So Maple, if you don't want to work, clearly she's not interested in working today. I don't know why. So you can always check back on the City Museum Facebook page or on Circus Harmony's Facebook page to previous episodes, where we always have Maple's trick of the day, sometimes Tico's trick of the day, And of course, I believe it was last week, we had our special guest shrimp, Georgie the dog, plays the shrimp in the cookbook. So once again, you've got to register before this weekend for our spring classes. We have classes for ages 3 and up, preschool circus classes, aerial classes for children and adults, juggling, unicycling, pretty much anything circus. We are also doing micro classes at City Museum with up to 3 people and private lessons. Our summer camps and classes will be online shortly. So we hope you plan to run away and join the circus this summer. And you can catch us here every Tuesday, the Up in the Air live stream. Hopefully next week, Maple will show you how she makes mashed potatoes, garlic cheese mashed potatoes, one of the recipes in the Circus Harmony interactive cookbook. Special thanks to Danielle Saulnier for being our guest. Don't forget, you can get your Defy Gravity coffee, which is fabulous coffee. And when you buy the coffee, it supports our Flying Children Scholarship Fund. The link to that is with this live stream and also on our website at circusharmony.org. Maple, come on. Maple said, no, I'm taking a nap. So once again, thanks for letting us make your day a circus day. Cheers.